This video is on your final paper. So now that you have completed your prototype, you are ready to work on the final paper or the reflective essay. So this is out of 20 marks, and this is an individual assignment. You are not allowed to work in partners or in your group on this assignment. So everybody has to write their own unique reflective paper on their experience of, completing this this group project. So even though it's on the group project, the reflections and the insights that you have is individual to you. If there are any students who are sharing work or working on it together, it is considered plagiarism, and both students or all students who submit the same work will automatically receive a mark of 0. This because it is considered plagiarism. So even the student who was the original writer of this paper, if he or she is sharing it with someone else, he or she will also get a 0. So everyone with the same paper will get a 0. Okay, so I hate to bring that up, but I just wanted to make it clear that this is an individual assignment, and the penalty for the penalty for plagiarism is very, very strict when it comes to this. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about the minimum word count, which is 1,800 words. Please double space and use 11-point font size. Now the word count here, 1,800, does not include geographics, obviously, references, or anything in your appendix. Okay, so in your 1,800 words, I'd like you to answer the following questions, and please use graphics or video or links to video when it's suitable. Okay, so you may want to use graphics, especially for number 1, when we talk about what interaction principles did you use in your design. I would like you to go back to all the interaction principles that we have studied so far, like the Gestalt principles. A few weeks ago, we studied more laws on interaction principles. We had that PowerPoint. We also covered in the first week the psychology of everyday things like affordances, mapping, feedback, feed forward, visibility. So all those principles, take a look at, what you have done in the design of your prototype. Name at least 10 different principles that you have used, and point out specific examples and talk about why they work or why they don't work. Justify your use in it. So just remember that it's 1,800 words. So you don't want to just have one line, one line for each, one line of text for each principle. Really get into it, describe it, explain it, justify it, and really talk about it and discuss it with me. All right, so moving on, number 2 is, what is your biggest challenge during the project and how did you overcome it? So I want the challenge to be project related and course material related. So although I understand that you may have challenges like you had to work remotely, or you may have been sick, or maybe you had to move cities, or you had to work from a different time zone, or you had to deal with COVID and, conducting interviews. So those are, yes, challenging, but they are not the kinds of challenges that I want to hear about, okay? So this is not what I'm asking for here. I do not want to hear about those challenges, not because I don't care, but because I am more interested in the challenges that are related to your the topics in the course that we are learning, such as, maybe you had trouble with some of the interaction principles that you wanted to integrate, but you had trouble integrating. Maybe you didn't understand, how to conduct research, and you felt like you were way off in your research and you didn't learn enough from your research to help you create the prototype, or maybe you didn't understand the task flow well enough, and when you got to your prototype you found that you had trouble making a cohesive prototype that would be usable by the testers. So talk about that. Talk about things that are specific to your project and to the course material, and talk about how you did overcome it, or you tried to overcome it but you didn't. Okay? Next, there are many components to the course. I would like you to talk about 3 things that you remember most from working on this project. So let's pretend it's 2 years from now and you look back on this project. What are the 3 things that you would take away from this project. Okay, just it could even be in your own words. What did you learn the most? What were the top 3 things that you learned? And I really need you to get into this. This is 6 marks out of 20 marks. So this is where you write quite a big paragraph, a few paragraphs here, probably 3 big paragraphs on what are the things that you remember working, what you'll take away, and why it resonates with you. Okay, and finally, I want you to talk about, well, how did this UX project, this HCI project, change your prior beliefs about what user interface design is? Okay, so before you took the course and you signed up for this course, when someone said UX design or human-computer interface, what did you think about? What came to your mind? And now, what do you think about? What comes to your mind now when people mention HCI or UX or user-friendly interface? What are the things that you think about now? Okay, and again, get right into it. Explain and discuss in detail. This is 2 marks here. And also note that even though I use the word essay here, if you prefer to create a video or a PowerPoint presentation recorded, with your narration or an animation to present your reflective thoughts, this is something that's possible if you prefer to do that instead of write an essay. But of course, consult with me first, and then we can arrange this. You must discuss it with me first because we need to decide, if you're doing a video, how long that video should be. Obviously, it can't be only 1 minute long, and it doesn't need to be 2 hours long. So we need to, between you and I, we can talk about, what you plan on including in your video or animation or PowerPoint presentation, and maybe it would work, but only if you consult with me first. So unless you consult with me prior, to the end of the course, you must hand in a written reflective essay. Otherwise, you may use other formats to present your ideas. Okay, you might also be able to do a live presentation of your assignment if you wish to. Note that marks will be deducted for poor presentation in any form. So if you do a poorly done video or poorly done PowerPoint presentation, you will have marks deducted for poor presentation or poorly written paper. Please make sure that your paper meets the standards that are required of you in a setting, in a professional university setting like this. There is a level of writing skills that you need to meet. Make sure that your essay is free of spelling errors and grammatical errors. And luckily, in today's world, you can just go to Word document and do a spell check and do other checks for sentence structures, and make sure you add those changes. Okay, so it should also be presented properly with a table of contents, a cover page, citations at the back. If you're not sure how to do this, there are workshops available to you, or you can also just take a look at examples that have been previously posted on the way that other students present their work. Please do make sure that you have a good presentation skills, and that also make sure that you answer all of these 4 questions, and please make sure that you use graphics or video when it is suitable too. All right, so this is due, let's see when this is due. This is due, I believe, on Wednesday, April 28th. So if you would like my feedback on this, so if you want to send me a draft, please send it by the Sunday before that. So that would be on the 25th. If you can submit it on the 25th of April, I may be able to get my feedback to you in time for your further revision. Okay, any questions, please email me.